I know you just saw the title, The Big Snow, at the beginning of this. You're going, hang on, that's back in March. But really, these are still the fallout that's going. We've come down to Glen Helen, where it's been closed since that snow back in March. And with me is Jimmy from the department, and also one of our big stars of IoM TV. Do you remember the wood carving? Oh, my God. So many people watched that video, by the way, Dave. You're very famous. You and Nick, we've left Nick down there doing some work.
The apprentice.
Yeah, the apprentice. Jimmy, let's start with you. I mean, obviously, a lot of people are very surprised, probably, that it has been so long before you've been able to tackle this job.
Well, basically, it's been so long for the plain and simple reason we have other work to carry on with. We do have the skill sets that are in the forestry department, but with the amount of work we have initially in our glens, this had to come on top of it. So the devastation in Glen Helen had to be done by contractors.
And this is where Dave comes in with Nick. I mean, you brought us up here in your little 4x4. I had no idea how difficult the terrain was, and it's a big job, isn't it?
I mean, it's probably one of the most difficult jobs we've ever had to deal with. Wind blowns, I mean, although it's been brought down by snow, it's probably one of the most difficult things you have to deal with, because the timber's often very heavy, and you've seen the size of some of the trees, and also it's under a lot of compression from its own weight. So you just have to be so careful all the time, and as you can see from the bit of work that we showed you before, everything just has to be done bit by bit. It's dangerous and slow work, and obviously in such a small area we can't get the machinery in that we'd like to be, so everything's been done by hand.
And Jimmy, we just got some shots of a bridge, what was a walkway bridge. Of all the places the tree had to land on was just there.
Yeah, well, that bridge itself is actually down for being completely taken away now. The tree itself will have to be dismantled as well, so that's extra work for Dave and Nick. So that all has to be dismantled and taken away. The path we're concentrating on is the main path from the Glen Helen and the Swiss Chalet up to Renas Falls, and we have to have that open for mid-November.
You've got your hands full because you're dealing with Dutch elm, you're dealing with other diseases. In fact, there's a sign at the beginning of this one just warning people to be on the lookout. I mean, there's a lot going on.
Yes, we have the Phytophthora on the island, which is a bad disease for the larch trees, affecting all our larch in the plantations. We have Dutch elm disease. We've felled so far 165 diseased trees this year, and we're still finding them now. The summer has been nice for some people, it's been lovely, hot and warm, but for ourselves in Dutch elm disease, it's been one of the worst scenarios we could actually hope for.
Well, back to this job, and you're working pretty well flat out then. You've got a date to have this open done by, Dave?
I think we're hoping for the second week in November. Yeah. Just on that point though, Paul, and I'm sure Jimmy will back me up on this, at the bottom of the glen it is taped off, and although it appears to be open, it's still a very dangerous place to be. We've cleared the path up as far as you can see we have done, but unfortunately there's still an awful lot of hanging branches in the trees, and it is taped off for the public safety.
What Dave was trying to say with being polite, and we were talking about this, was don't come through the barriers, right, Jimmy?
Yeah, don't come past the barriers. There is a lot of the path might be open or look open. It's actually shut. We've got the whole glen shut off. It's for the public safety. The barriers themselves are only up and down for the boys to go through. The public are excluded because the hanging branches, if something drops on your head, as you see we're wearing hard hats at all times, if something drops on the head, it's going to kill you. There's no ifs or buts about it.
Okay, well, we might return hopefully when it's all done and before this year's gales. I shouldn't even say that, should I? Because you never know what's going to happen next.
No, we don't want any more gales for this winter, thank you.